Hello everyone, my name of course is Resonant and welcome back to a new video. Now you may remember a couple of days ago I did a video on a new game that's coming out soon. This is Holdfast Nations at War. Now this is a very exciting game. I'd definitely recommend you guys going and checking out my last video if you want to see my initial reactions and analysis of the trailer that was put out. And insanely, this game was on greenlight, and I think it was greenlit after 5 days. If you guys don't know what greenlight is, this is where new developers can put games on Steam and people can vote whether they would buy that game or not if it was actually released. And strangely enough, Holdfast Nations at War was greenlit after 5 days. So if any of you voted for it there, well done to you guys. Good job. We got it greenlit, and it means this game is on the go. It's on its next steps to becoming a new thing in the historical gaming community, and I'm very excited for that. So my full video on specifically what is Holdfast Nations at War will be coming out very soon. Obviously that's taking quite a while to make, since it needs to be researched quite well. I need to write the scripts and all that kind of stuff, so it's a well-made video. I don't want to just chuck something out, since that's going to be my main informational video on Holdfast Nations at War, and I don't want to give across any information that isn't too relevant or isn't true, because obviously this is a new game, so there's still some things that we're not completely sure about. So I am contacting with the developers and we're getting some more information for you guys for that video, but that will come in the next few days or so. But some new things have been put out, some new bits of information. There was a Q&A sort of thing, or at least the developers were answering a few questions that have been put on the forums, Steam Greenlight, and the community group. And yeah, so I'm gonna go over them now, and we're gonna talk through them. We're gonna see what kind of news that has been put out, and does that give us any ideas of what kind of game this is going to be? Because we do know the basics, but I'm very excited to see what can come later on. So the first question was on the Steam community group. If you haven't joined that already, I definitely recommend you going and doing that. There will be a link in the description to that, so go and join that Steam community group. Now the first question was, will the community be able to host servers of its own? Now of course in games you have dedicated servers hosted by the companies themselves. They control the maps, they control all the admin stuff and things like that. But in a lot of games you can have community hosted servers, such as Mount & Blade Warband. You can host your own server for your regiment or your clan, and you can change different maps, you can make maps for it, you can add things, you can put mods on and all that great stuff. So that is a really useful way to help grow the community. And yeah, that is basically one of the most important things I think for multiplayer, for making the community as big as possible and as nice as possible, really, with bringing in new and fresh things. And the answer to this from the developers was yes. You'll be able to host your own community servers alongside the official ones we'll be hosting. We're distributing the server files as part of the game on release. This is very interesting, since of course it does say here that they are hosting their own, which is nice, so at least we've got some dedicated servers there. The reason for this is because having community servers, they can be unreliable because they are hosted by, you know, the players themselves. If people get bored, their server's going down. But these official ones are hosted by the games themselves, so they'll be up 24/7 constantly, and they'll always be very reliable, mostly very high quality servers. But the fact that they're distributing the server files as part of the game on release is a very nice addition that they're adding onto this, which means that people are going to be able to edit the server files, they're going to be able to change things, not necessarily add mods in, but even just changing some of the things that, you know, make the server do its stuff. Of course, this also means that you can add mods in, you can put mods in these server files, and of course if you want to join these modded servers you'll have to download them yourself, but it does have the opportunity for that. So I'm very happy that they are deciding to let people host their own servers and put the server files in there, with the fact that we can now put our own mods, put our own plugins, developer things, all that good stuff, and we have complete freedom with this game, which is a very important thing for multiplayer games, for keeping it alive and keeping the community happy. Question 2 was on Steam Greenlight. When do you plan on releasing into early access? The game will be available through early access in 2017. We are not ready to give specific release dates yet. We'll make that announcement only when we're sure that we can deliver. We're glad to see the game being received so well. Thank you. So first off, it seems like this is going to be an early access game. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I would recommend going back to my Is Early Access a Good Thing video, since I go over the advantages and disadvantages of early access and what you can get out of it, the things that developers want and the reasons that developers put it into early access, and the benefits and sort of downsides that that can have on the consumer. So it is a little bit risky putting it into early access, but it looks like they've got the right work mentality here. Since a lot of early access games are thrown into early access before they are ready. They don't want to make sure they have the finished product. They just want the money, and they can see how well it is received, which is understandable if it's a small company and they don't really quite have the money yet and they need that extra boost from the players. But I think Anvil Studios is getting the right sort of work ethic here, where they're making sure it is completely ready before they release any sort of announcement. So this means that they're not going to say, hey, it's coming out now, and then they're not going to be able to deliver what they really want to. So it looks like they've got the right work ethic for early access, which is a really good thing to see. Let's just hope they can deliver a game that is suitable for early access, but also has a lot of chance for improvement, because we always like to see improvement, especially because early access is a really good way for seeing the community's reactions for your game and being able to improve upon that. So I'm very excited to see what we can see in early access in 2017. So, we don't have too long to wait. Will it be middle or towards the end of 2017? I don't know. I doubt it's going to be early 2017 since, they've only just announced the game. And our final question is, will there be artillery on land or just on ships? Now, this is a very interesting question since, as we know, this game is going to include a multiple front warfare where you have people fighting on ships and on land, and also siege sort of stuff, which is going to be very interesting. Now, this question was asked on the forum, so let us go over it. There is a scene on Holdfast Nations at War official trailer within which cannons on a fort are firing at a ship in the bay. We did see that in our initial reactions and analysis, and I thought that was a very nice shot, and it gave me some nice ideas for cool scenarios and maps we can put in there. So not only can you expect artillery on land and sea distinctively, you can also expect them in concert. Napoleonic naval assaults, anyone? So yes, this kind of confirms it, that we're going to be able to see both land and sea battles together in concert, as they said. This is going to be extremely epic. I've always wanted to have people fighting on ships and then going and fighting on land, and even like firing from the ships onto the land. How epic would that be? Let's say you're with your clan, you're on one of the massive battleships, cannons lining the sides of your battleships, and you're going to attack this fort that is on the coast. You spin your ship round and you fire your cannonballs into the walls, knocking them down and making a breach for your infantry then to get into their landing crafts, fight up the beach, dodging cannonballs, dodging musket bullets, and it's going to be really cool to see them storming that castle when it all started from back in the sea. That is such a cool thing, and I can't wait to make some sort of cinematic things and all that good stuff. So I'm extremely excited for this game. Having the concept of land and naval warfare is just an amazing concept that so many people have wanted before, but I don't think has ever been properly done too well. A later update of Mount and Blade Napoleonic Wars DLC did add in ships, but the thing is with these ships is they didn't really have cannons on them. You had the stationary ships with cannons on them, but you couldn't move around with ships and cannons on them, which I think is probably a really nice thing that hopefully, if they get this right, it will be absolutely insane. But Mount and Blade Napoleonic Wars tried to combine land and naval warfare, but it didn't quite do it. I think it was the limitations of the engine. But with this new game, with this new engine that is being made for this new IP, I am extremely excited to see what they can do with it, and having these cool naval and land battles in concert together as a sort of amazing battle, and have these epic warfares, especially if you're going to have multiple attacks on multiple fronts. Let's say there's a siege going on and you have your land forces and you also have naval forces working together to try and breach the fort, to get in there and get dirty with melee muskets and swords. So overall, this game has got me extremely pumped. We don't know too much about it so far, but that trailer, I still keep watching it over and over again just to see if I can point out any more things to myself, because it just looks absolutely insane. This game was sort of a kind of a jump out of nowhere for me. I was literally just at a mate's house, and one of them was just on Reddit looking at stuff, and he saw this game and he was like, "Jacob, you should make a video on this." So I was like, that's a decent idea. and I am extremely excited for this. I have done so much research on this, and I will have, like I said before, my big informational video on what exactly is Holdfast Nations at War, any more information we've got, and of course there'll be more videos on this in the future, since I love covering these new up and coming titles, especially supporting these small indie developers that are trying their best to try and get it into the gaming market, since it's such a hard market to get into, especially since it's down to the public. It's not down to them. It doesn't matter how good you are, but you have to have the certain set of skills that can get the public interested, and it can be a lot of luck just to how much promotion you get, but it's also a lot to do with how skilled you are at trying to make what the public want. It definitely helps being a gamer yourself and going in, this is what I wanted from this game, maybe I can improve upon that. And something tells me this is what the developers have done here. They've taken ideas from a lot of their other games I think they may have played in the past and thought, we can improve upon this. I think we're going to try and make a better game. So I'm really excited to see what they can do. I will keep in contact with the developers here. And if you have any questions or any video ideas, remember to leave them down in the comments, and hopefully I will get to them. But until then, guys, remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, you know what to do. But stay subscribed to my channel for more content on Holdfast, Nations at War, and all of that good stuff. But until then, I will see you in the next one.